Imagine that at this very moment, a bubble is expanding through the cosmos at the speed of light. It doesn't emit heat, it doesn't cast a shadow, and it gives no warning. As it passes through our solar system, the laws of physics themselves cease to exist. Atoms disintegrate, planets vanish. In less than a millisecond, the Earth, your home, and everything you've ever known is simply gone. This isn't a sci-fi nightmare. It's a legitimate scientific possibility hidden within the equations of the Higgs boson. It's called the False Vacuum Decay. And according to some physicists, the universe we inhabit might be sitting on a cosmic time bomb, waiting for a single, random fluctuation to trigger the end of reality as we know it. We are accustomed to the idea that the universe is governed by fixed, eternal laws. Gravity pulls, light travels, and atoms hold together. We build our civilizations on the assumption that the foundation of reality is solid. But what if that foundation is just a temporary state? In thermodynamics, everything seeks the lowest possible energy level, a state of true vacuum. However, physicists suspect our universe is stuck in a false vacuum. It's like a ball sitting in a shallow dip halfway down a mountain. It looks stable, it feels stable, but it possesses a terrifying amount of potential energy, just waiting for a tiny push to send it tumbling down to the bottom. This state of metastability means our entire reality is balanced on a knife's edge. If the Higgs field, the invisible fabric that defines how particles behave, ever finds a way to reach a lower energy state, it would create a bubble of true vacuum. Inside this bubble, the laws of physics are completely different. The chemistry that allows your DNA to exist would be impossible. The forces that hold stars together would vanish. This bubble would expand outward in every direction at the speed of light, effectively rewriting the blueprint of the universe and erasing the old one in its wake. We wouldn't even have time to feel it. We would simply cease to be part of the equation. To understand how the universe could end, we must first understand what holds it together. Science has revealed that empty space is never truly empty. Our entire universe is submerged in an invisible ocean called the Higgs field. Think of this field as the background code of reality. Without it, fundamental particles like electrons would have no mass. They would zip through the cosmos at the speed of light, unable to bind together. No atoms, no stars, no DNA, and no life. The Higgs field is the invisible glue that allows matter to exist. It works much like moving through water. Some particles feel a great deal of drag as they pass through the Higgs field, which we perceive as mass. Others, like photons of light, glide through without any resistance at all. This is the bedrock of our existence. As long as the Higgs field remains at its current strength, our world is secure. But here lies the terrifying catch. Physicists have discovered that the Higgs field may not be in its lowest possible energy state. It might be stuck in a position it was never meant to occupy. In our logical universe, everything seeks stability. Water flows to the lowest ground, a ball rolls to the bottom of a hill. However, our Higgs field appears to be in a state called a false vacuum. It is like a boulder snagged on a ledge halfway down a mountain. It looks stable, it feels solid, but it possesses a staggering amount of potential energy just waiting for a tiny random push to send it tumbling toward the true bottom. And if this field ever shifts to a lower state, it won't just change physics. It will rewrite the very rules of the cosmos. In the world of physics, nature is lazy. Everything wants to be at its lowest possible energy state, a state of perfect rest. We call this true vacuum. It is the floor of the universe, the place where nothing can fall any further. But during the chaotic birth of the cosmos, the Higgs field didn't make it to the floor. Instead, it got caught in a shallow dip on the mountainside. This is what scientists call a false vacuum. It is a state of metastability. To us, it feels like solid ground. But in reality, it is a precarious ledge, suspended over a bottomless abyss. Think of a boulder perched on a mountain ledge. It might sit there for millions of years, looking perfectly still. You could build a house on that boulder and feel safe. But the boulder is false stable. It's holding on to a massive amount of hidden energy. It only needs one thing to happen. One tiny vibration, one small shift in the earth to send it plummeting toward the valley floor. If the boulder falls, the house you built on it doesn't just move. It is pulverized by the sheer force of the descent. This is the gamble of our existence. Our entire reality, every star, every galaxy, every person you've ever loved, is built on that boulder. We are living in a temporary pocket of physics that shouldn't technically exist. And physics tells us that eventually, everything that can fall, will fall. The question isn't whether the Higgs field wants to reach the true vacuum. It's whether something is about to give it the final push. If our universe followed the laws of everyday logic, we might be safe forever. Theoretically, that ball would need a massive surge of energy to climb over the hill holding it back. But in the subatomic realm, logic breaks down. There is a haunting phenomenon called quantum tunneling. In the quantum world, a particle doesn't need to climb a wall to get past it. It can simply teleport to the other side, passing through solid barriers as if they were ghosts. Imagine the Higgs field playing a game of cosmic probability. Even if the odds are near zero, quantum physics allows the field to spontaneously tunnel through its energy barrier. No warning, no external trigger, just a pure, random fluctuation in the void. At the exact spot where this happens, a pocket of true vacuum is born, and this is where the catastrophe begins. This single tiny fluctuation creates a hole in the fabric of reality, a bubble of destruction that nothing in the universe can stop. Once the bubble of true vacuum is born, it doesn't just sit there. Propelled by the massive energy it releases, the bubble expands in every direction at the speed of light. This creates a terrifying paradox for anyone trying to observe it. Because it moves at the absolute speed limit of the universe, no information, no radio signal, and no beam of light can outrun it to warn us. There is no seeing it coming. We would be erased before the electrical signals in our brains even have the chance to process that something is wrong. Picture yourself staring at the night sky. There would be no massive explosion, no sky turning red. The stars would simply vanish one by one, but it would happen so fast that your consciousness wouldn't even register the change. This bubble would collide with Earth, dissecting every atom in your body and rewriting the structure of reality in a matter of nanoseconds. This is the cosmic eraser. It doesn't just end life, it deletes the very possibility that life ever existed in that point in space. Why is this bubble so lethal? Because inside its borders, the laws of physics are fundamentally rewritten. Imagine if gravity suddenly became a repulsive force, or if fire suddenly became cold. Inside the true vacuum, the Higgs field has a different strength. This means the mass of fundamental particles changes entirely. Electrons might become too heavy to orbit an atom's nucleus, or protons might simply decay. Instantly, the chemical bonds that form your body, the water you drink, and the air you breathe would disintegrate. Chemistry, as we know it, would die. The universe would still exist, but it would become an alien landscape where solid matter is no longer possible. You might think this is just a wild theory. But in 2012, the scientific world was rocked by the discovery of the Higgs Boson, the so-called God particle at CERN. This discovery won a Nobel Prize, but it also carried a dark omen. By measuring the mass of this particle, physicists were able to calculate the stability of our universe. The results were startling. The numbers suggest we are sitting exactly in the metastable zone. Mathematically, our universe is not permanently stable. Data from the most complex machine ever built by humanity confirms that vacuum decay is not just a philosophical possibility, it is a logical consequence of our laws of nature. If this doom is so certain, the question is, when? The good news is that, according to probability calculations, our universe will likely remain stable for billions, if not trillions of years to come. The odds of quantum tunneling happening anytime soon are astronomically low. But that is the nature of quantum probability. Low does not mean zero. Technically, the bubble could form 1 second from now, or it may have already formed in a distant galaxy millions of years ago, and is currently hurtling toward us without us ever knowing. But there is a grander perspective. If the multiverse theory is real, then our universe is just one of infinite bubbles. It's possible that somewhere out there, this process of vacuum decay has already happened countless times. Universes are born, reach a metastable state, then collapse, and are replaced by new laws of physics. It is an eternal cycle of erasure and rebirth. On an infinite cosmic scale, the destruction of our world is but a single, tiny flicker in an endless ocean of reality. Knowing that everything could end in an instant may feel terrifying. But, on the other hand, it gives us a new perspective. Life, consciousness, and everything we've built become far more precious precisely because they are not eternal. We live in a very brief, special window of time where the laws of physics allow us to exist and question the universe itself. Perhaps, the true meaning of our existence isn't to last forever, but to cherish every second before the cosmic eraser arrives to write a completely new story.